In January 1848, a man named James Marshall noticed a few shiny flakes glinting in the cold water of a sawmill in Sutter's Mill, California. He had just stumbled upon one of the richest gold deposits in human history. The owner of the mill tried to keep it a secret. He knew what human greed would do to his peaceful land. But secrets have a way of bleeding out. By December, President James K. Polk stood before Congress in Washington, D.C., and officially confirmed the rumors. California was overflowing with gold. Almost overnight, the world went completely mad. In 1849, the rush was on. More than 80,000 people, now immortalized in history as the 49ers, abandoned their homes, their jobs, and their families to head west. But getting to California in 1849 was a literal gamble with death. There were no transcontinental railroads, no highways. To reach the gold fields, Americans had two brutal choices. They could walk across 3,000 miles of uncharted deserts and treacherous mountain passes, risking starvation and disease. Or they could board overcrowded wooden ships, sailing all the way around the dangerous, stormy tip of South America, a journey that took 6 agonizing months. Thousands never made it. But for those who did, an even greater chaos was waiting. Before the gold rush, San Francisco was just a tiny, sleepy fishing village called Yerba Buena, home to barely 200 people. Within months, it exploded into a roaring metropolis of 36,000. The growth was so violent that the city's harbor turned into something out of a ghost story. As hundreds of ships sailed into San Francisco Bay, entire crews, including the captains, would instantly drop their equipment, abandon the vessel, and run straight into the mountains to dig for gold. Nearly 500 empty ships were left rotting in the harbor, completely abandoned. The city, desperate for space, didn't destroy them. Instead, they converted the ghost ships into floating hotels, warehouses, and even the local jail. Eventually, as San Francisco expanded, they simply filled the water with dirt, burying the ships underground. To this day, the skyscrapers of downtown San Francisco sit on top of a hidden fleet of 1849 pirate and merchant ships. With thousands of desperate people arriving every week, San Francisco became a city without a soul and without a law. There were no official police forces, no established courts, and no jails, except for the abandoned ships. Might made right. Gold claims were stolen at gunpoint, and disputes were settled with a bullet. The city was built so fast and out of such cheap wood that it became a massive fire hazard. Between 1849 and 1851, San Francisco burned to the ground 6 separate times. Many of these fires weren't accidents. Ruthless merchants and criminals would deliberately torch entire districts just to create a shortage of goods, allowing them to skyrocket the prices of food, blankets, and tools the very next morning. It was a vicious cycle of greed and survival. The ultimate irony of the California gold rush is that almost none of the actual miners got rich. The gold fields were exhausting, brutal, and quickly bled dry. The people who made billions were the ones who realized that the real gold wasn't in the rivers, it was in the pockets of the miners. Take Samuel Brannan, a clever businessman who bought up every single shovel, pickaxe, and pan in the region for just a few cents each. Only after cornering the market did he run through the streets of San Francisco shouting about the gold. He sold those same 20-cent shovels back to desperate men for $15 apiece, becoming California's first millionaire. Then there was a German immigrant named Levi Strauss. He noticed that the miners' trousers tore to shreds within days under the harsh conditions. Instead of looking for gold, he began manufacturing tough, heavy-duty work pants using a rugged fabric with metal rivets at the stress points. He didn't find gold, he invented denim jeans, launching a global fashion empire that still exists today. The madness of 1849 eventually faded, but it permanently rewrote the DNA of California. It transformed a remote wilderness into the economic engine of America, forging a culture obsessed with high-risk, high-reward ventures. It is no coincidence that a century later, the very same valleys that drew the 49ers became the birthplace of Silicon Valley. The gold changed from shiny rocks to computer chips, but the spirit of the rush remained exactly the same. Come here, take a massive gamble, and try to change the world overnight. But what do you think? Was the gold rush a triumph of American ambition or a dark chapter of pure greed? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to discover more hidden chapters of American history, hit that subscribe button and join us as we explore the 50 states.